We are live.
Yep.
So I should hit the intro button at 0.
Yep.
You guys have to admit you're at least going to miss Emmy bobbing up and down, right?
Yep.
So I should hit the intro.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, 3 seconds, huh? We're live. We're live. We're back.
So we are live?
We are live.
Well, welcome back, everyone. We are The Pivot, featuring The Juice. We're live from Crybaby Hill for the first time, week 0. We're brought to you by our people over at Vast Bank, who continue to kill it. We're executively produced by Toby Biocchini. And we are Matt, Jared, and The Juice.
Aw, yeah.
Say hi, Jared.
Yes, we're back. Football's back.
Excited for football.
And you tell me Ming's on the stream, right?
He's watching.
He better be watching.
He's watching.
Ming, we're giving you this one.
Oof.
Early.
Oof.
Anyway, it's good to be back. How you guys been? Good off season?
Good. Yeah. Great off season. Just did my main full season draft last week. Feel pretty good about it.
Yeah.
Ready for football?
Okay. Derrick Henry make the team?
No.
Oh, wow.
No, he
Interesting.
didn't make the
So that'll be so should we ask who made the team so we know who will be forced into our lineup
Yeah.
each week?
Sure. I got Akers.
Okay.
I got Robinson for Washington. But I also
That's
have
strong start there.
not strong. But this is where
so where are the good players? When do
This
the
is
good
where
players come in?
I
Let's
got-
not go backwards in the round picks.
I got Tyreek Hill,
Okay, that's a good
That's
pick.
a good one.
St. Brown,
Oh, wow. Okay, so
Travis Kelce.
you were in a bad draft.
No, this
This
is
team
a
doesn't count.
This is a 3-man.
No, this
Yeah.
is
league.
this is a very competitive
Eight-man
keepers league where you have a salary, and if you get people for cheap, you get to have them for cheap next year. So I got St. Brown for $25 because I was on him before everybody else.
So which other one of your son's friends are in this league?
My son doesn't have friends that play football yet. He's 5.
Well.
But I'm a waiver wire wizard, so I find the value before everyone else does, and it gives me a leg up on the next season.
Wow. Okay, I like it. What about you, Juice? You been doing any drafting?
I've been doing some best ball.
Yeah?
I'm actually going to pull up.
Your exposure list?
Yeah. I don't know if I've got. All I got to do on my phone. I'm glad this summer it's been like the mildest summer I can remember.
Yeah. we've had a hot summer here for you all.
Wow.
Not in Tulsa. Oh, look, we got Ming in the stream. Welcome back.
All right.
Thank
Nice.
you, Ming.
Thanks, Ming.
I
We
just
love
pulled
you.
up my exposure. So
Hey, Ming, get my dab ready for Vegas, please.
Jalen
get
Hurts is my number 1 exposed quarterback.
Jalen Hurts. Okay.
Oh, wow. I think that's probably a good one.
Then
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson is my number 2.
Yeah, you and Toby, huh? You
And
guys-
then my top 2 receivers are kind of dart throws. Values that I'm high on. Marvin Mims Jr.
well, he's having a great preseason.
Which the Judy injury I think vaults him up.
and he's just had a great
Yeah.
preseason, too.
Rasheed Rice. I don't know.
He's having a great preseason also. I mean, you got some preseason all-stars.
some good exposures there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited. This year's gonna be fun.
At quarterback, I'm Goff and Fields highly over the rest of the field for some reason. And I usually draft them together. I like to draft Fields, and if I can't stack him, I do a mini stack with Goff. Laporta a lot. So
I like Laporta a lot too.
yeah.
Yeah, I like Laporta as well.
So we don't really have a schedule for this show. We weren't planning on doing a normal show and building a lineup since we're still a couple weeks out from our DFS slate going. But one, we could definitely talk about the pricing because that's not going to change between now and the start.
Nope.
We definitely talk about some season-long drafting ideas. Talk about how the first few rounds, who we are prioritizing. A kind of lazy river approach to today. I'll let you. Let's let Juice pick the first topic. What do you want to talk about, Juice?
I think we should talk about the over-unders for week 1.
So we're going
50 cent pieces.
Oh wow! Already.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. So this is the segment of the show for you guys who may be new to the show or forgotten, where we discuss which games on the slate for week 1 are going to be projected to go over 50-point totals. We talk about some that are close to 50, and then we talk about the ones we like the best, right? I have not seen any totals for week 1. So what about you, Jay?
I'm going in blind.
You want to guess? We like to guess a lot on this show, too.
So we're guessing for the highest performing.
Let's guess the number of games that are projected to be over.
I'm gonna go
Okay.
on the main slate.
So this is the Sunday slate,
Yes.
so we're not including Sunday night and Monday night.
Just Sunday.
So we don't got Bills, Jets, and that kind of
No,
stuff.
nor do we have the Lions, Chiefs.
I'm gonna go 2 then.
Okay.
I'm going to go 4.
4, no
So
way.
it's good that I now know that neither one of you listen to anything I say before the show because I said the number.
Whoa,
Really? I missed
I
it.
said the number before we even started. It was I was curious. This was sort of a trick question I threw at both of you guys
Yes.
because I knew neither one of you were listening. But But it's one. One game has a 50 projected total over 50.
Wow.
All right, and
Would you want to guess which
Yes.
game that is? I
I
did
mean,
not
I
say
think we
which game it
absolutely.
was.
I mean, this is a guessing show. I don't know what else we would do. if we
I gotta
weren't
guess.
guessing.
Okay.
Okay. Well, you guess.
Miami against the Chargers.
No way. It is.
Ding.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Hold on. Oh, that's a laugh. Where's the clap track? It's been a while here. We got to find the clap track here. That is not the clap track. That's the no track. Explosion. Here's the kids clapping track. We'll give you the kids
yeah.
clapping. Yeah,
That works.
What's this one?
Brilliant. That works
There we
too.
go.
So I got a question for you guys. SoFi Stadium, the new stadium in LA, it's indoors, correct?
It is
Yeah.
correct.
Okay, that's what I thought. So it's at SoFi Stadium. Dolphins Chargers 51. The Chargers are favored by 3.
Interesting.
Okay, what are some of the other games you guys like? I'll just pick 2, each of you.
Okay. The other game I like is Houston Baltimore.
Ooh, interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
It could be high scoring. Just depends on how.
They all could be high scoring for sure.
Yeah. How Stroud does.
The ones have built my team around as it appeared on the screen is Tennessee at New Orleans. I mean, Tennessee's defense is trash, and I
They're bad.
I like the Carolina Atlanta game. I think Bryce Young playing in Atlanta. It's a place where he's played some SEC championship games. I'm guessing he'll have a lot of family there. I'm thinking big Bryce Young Week 1 game. A few touchdowns, and I like running it back with Bijan and some of the Atlanta stuff. So those are the games that I've focused on.
Okay, so
Hoping that the Tennessee-New Orleans game is one that people don't.
my observation thus far is that you've picked 3 of the top 4.
Oh, I did?
Lowest scoring games.
Okay,
Oh, really?
I mean, that's my talent. Yeah,
So the Titans,
so obviously all those are going over.
So yeah, there's your 3-team over parlay
Yeah.
right there.
So, just
So
fire.
the Texans Ravens is 44. Panthers Falcons is 40.
In one of them, 37.
38.5 would be the Cardinals and Commanders.
Wow. Okay. What about Jackson at Indianapolis? What do they got?
45. So middle of the road.
Okay.
Buccaneers Vikings is 45.5.
So they're all in that like same range. It sounds
Rams
like
Seahawks 47.
See, I don't see that one as much.
Rams Seahawks. Is that
I
what it
mean, I
was?
think the Rams defense is a lot. It's
Worse.
way more depleted than it's been in recent years.
That's for sure. What games do you like, Juice? Have you built a stack yet?
I haven't, but I mean, I don't know. I kind of like that Sunday night Cowboys Giants game.
I haven't looked at that one very much, but that's a traditionally pretty high scoring
Yeah,
game.
I mean, it's New York summertime, so weather shouldn't be obviously a factor. 2 pretty good offenses. I'll be curious to see what the Cowboys are like this year offensively, if they're going to be more run oriented or more of the same. But I feel like they're going to slow it down quite a bit.
Do you think
more.
Pollard's going to be one of the best running backs in the league this year,
Yes.
fantasy wise?
I do.
Yes.
I do.
I
Yeah.
think, I mean, if we're going to talk about season long drafting, that Pollard to me is the undervalued player. I took him as high as 6 in a mid stakes draft. Mid stakes is like 300 level.
What was his
draft.
average? Do you remember?
There was a lot of rumor. Early, he was going early, and then the Zeke rumor started again, and he started pushing back to mid to late second round even. And then when the Zeke signed with the Patriots, his drafting has gone back up to early second. But I haven't seen him. He was in the first, like when we were doing the June drafts, he was going in the first round. But I haven't seen him make his way back into the first round much.
I think he's a early second round mainly guy.
The big risers, I think I've seen, if you're looking for trend exposure in like the high stakes drafting, is Ridley has moved its way up. Seen him go in the first round, even at like a 12th pick. He was going early third, late second, and I think who was Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson went from being the 14th, 15th person picked to the 8th, 9th at times.
Speaking of Garrett Wilson, Bryce Hall seems to be in a pretty
Tough
not
spot.
as great of a spot as he was last year before his injury.
To me, he's undraftable in the season long. I just don't think there's any reason to
I definitely would not draft Bryce Hall.
If you want to take Bryce Hall and take Dalvin Cook with him and just have that backfield kind of, you're fine. But the Knight kid is good. The rookie from Pitt is good. They've got a lot of Carter is good.
I was going to say I wouldn't take Bryce Hall, but I would consider taking Brees Hall.
Sorry, Bryce Hall. Bryce Young, Brees Hall. Okay. My first mistake.
Jared led us down the path.
I did.
Led us down the path. He said Bryce.
I did say Bryce.
Yes. Well, I usually blame
I will
Jared.
call him Bryce again at some point.
So what about you guys? How are you kind of, a lot of these high stakes leagues are so receiver heavy these days. How are you kind of ranking the top receivers? Like, give me your top 5 rankings for fantasy on wide receiver.
Well, I'd say Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill.
So wait, slow down. So Jefferson at Hill, you got Hill at 2 over Chase?
And then Chase at 3. And then I'm kind of nervous about Kupp this year.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what he looks like after that injury. So I'd say Adams.
Kupp is always the guy that I fully fade, and then I'm like, why did I fully fade?
Yeah. I mean, I want some exposure to him, but I'm not as confident as I would be last year. And then I like A.J. Brown.
Okay.
For Philadelphia.
So that's leaving C.D. Lamb out. That's leaving Olave. Yep. That's leaving Garrett Wilson. So I like it.
I would have said Jerry Jeudy before his injury, but as like the hot take top 5.
Let the wolf get in there. give the wolf some room. What about you, Juice? What do you have on the wide receivers
I mean, I think Jefferson, obviously, Tyreek.
So you guys, everybody's 1-2, Tyreek, Jefferson, Tyreek, because that's not the drafting norm.
I like them both. I mean, Tyreek Hill, like last year, I
listened to a podcast where they broke down Tyreek Hill with a healthy Tua, and he should be the number 1 pick.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's depending if Tua can be healthy.
Right.
True.
So you, sorry, I interrupted. Jefferson,
no.
Hill.
I like Hill. I like A.J. Brown quite a bit.
Chase, you're a little down on it, sounds like?
I'm a little worried about this Burrow injury.
Yeah.
They're saying he could play week 1.
I have a calf strain myself right now. It's a tough injury because it will be fine, and then I will stand up, and it will hurt.
I tore my calf muscle, and I came back a little too soon, and I tore it right back.
Yeah.
It's one of those tricky sort of injuries. But, I don't know. If he plays a full season, yeah, you got to love Chase. I do like Waddle quite a bit. I think he's a little underrated this year.
Yeah, he's one that I would say has moved up from going from like the back of round 2 to being I've seen him as high as 12, 13 is common, 14 is common. He's a nice pickup. A lot of those people who are taking like Eckler and when they get Waddle, I mean, it's a good combination to start off with.
Yeah. I mean, I like Devontae Smith.
There's so many. The first 2 rounds are just stacked, but then there's a sudden drop at the wide receiver spot, right?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of mystery after that. Like there's a lot of value that somebody's going to get, but nobody knows what it is yet.
It kind of ends with Gabe Davis. Once Gabe Davis is taken, the wide receivers start to get a little bit nervous from there. As far as I'm concerned, in my opinion. What about running back? Have you guys done any mini season long drafts so far?
Yeah.
Are you prioritizing the running back? Because it's such a common way to do it now is to prioritize receiver and late draft the running back.
That's pretty much what I did. But I have my favorite late round, which is currently Javonte Williams.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that.
Wow.
I'm just fading Denver altogether. I don't know why. I'm a Denver Bronco fan to some degree. Have a girlfriend that loves them. I just fade him in fantasy for some reason.
Javonte, the thing that worries me is the injury. I mean, he had major, didn't he tear an ACL and
but he came. I mean, did you watch him at all in the preseason? He didn't play very much, but when he did play, he still looked explosive.
I guess it's hard for me. He was my top picked running back last year, so it's hard when you've had that.
I bet there's some bitterness there. But even so Sean Payton does a great job of the 1-2 punch with running backs. We used to have Ingram and Kamara on the same team, both producing big numbers. So I mean, I like Javonte Williams first, and then still I like Perine after that as their pass down catcher.
Right.
They're both going to be very involved.
You're just a Broncos guy, aren't you?
Yeah, he's a homer.
I'm a fan of the Broncos.
Okay, I just want to make sure that was clear.
But
everybody listening,
Sean Payton is basically their best pickup in a long time.
Jared's promotion of Denver fantasy players is at his it does not represent necessarily the other parts of the pivot.
Sometimes
this is not financial advice.
Sometimes I've got a lot of magic.
Yeah, Bronco magic. Someone I didn't hear mention a couple of names. Olave.
I like Olave.
What do you think about Olave this year?
I mean, there's so many
I know.
good players.
I just we talked about Ridley a little bit.
We're jumping around. I mean, I like Bijan a lot at running
So
back.
that's okay. So let's go to running backs. Let's discuss if you were going to take running back early, who we taking and who we fading at running back.
I'd say Robinson's probably the first one I'd go for.
Who?
Robinson.
Okay,
I'm taking him like 6 in some of my best ball
Yeah.
drafts.
Bijan.
Yeah, I'm really high on him. I mean, I think that line is incredible.
The same woman who pointed out the Tyreek Hill stats says Bijan is her number one running back by far.
Yeah,
The industry loves him.
Mm-hmm.
I have faded him fully in 10 drafts I've done so far, and I don't have any Bijan.
Ooh, that's scary to me.
I know.
None-
I don't have any
zero?
St. Brown either, but
Wow.
I've tried to get St. Brown. St. Brown is the one that, and that's another name that wasn't mentioned in your top fives.
Yeah.
I've seen him go as high as 6 and as low as like 18th.
Yeah,
19th.
last I checked, he was like 11 right
Yeah.
now.
I've seen him go as high as 6.
I mean, I think with the Mon-Ra, like their offense is going to be great. There's no doubt. I love the Laporta kid. I think he's going to pull some catches away.
Detroit has so many weapons. Like even Gibbs. Like I think Gibbs
Yeah,
still has
yeah.
a chance of outscoring Robinson as far as fantasy points are concerned.
Yeah.
He could be a sleeper,
Yeah.
big pick too.
I like Pollard number 1. I mean, obviously McCaffrey we haven't spoken of, but after McCaffrey, I'm kind of Pollard. I think as my second favorite running
If
back.
he gets the touches, it's hard to foresee a scenario where he doesn't be the number one guy. Now, with that being said, is he going to be able to handle that many touches?
That's a good question.
So I don't know if Dallas does that with him.
And Deuce Vaughn has looked like a weapon in this.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So
But the other thing too, I think I've noticed with NFL is like they just are treating running backs like third-rate citizens.
correct.
And so
Yeah.
they're going to run him into
Fantasy's
the ground.
kind of treating him like that
Yeah.
now too.
So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see. I mean, another couple guys I like are Etienne. I think is poised.
I do. I have a lot of ATN.
Ramondre Stevenson. I just don't think Ezekiel's going to impact him at all.
Other
No.
than like maybe a couple
Touchdown here, there.
vultures.
Maybe,
Yeah.
but I
Touchdown
think
vultures.
Ramondre's a good short yardage back too.
Let me ask you about 2 that I think are in an interesting position. Derrick Henry coming off an injury, and Jonathan Taylor dealing with some contract stuff. Where do you put them in your?
I'd be shocked if Taylor's a Colt, and then he might be gone by the end of the show.
Right, they
They're-
said 2 teams are very interested.
Yeah.
Miami being one of them.
Yep.
God, that would hurt me if he goes to Miami because I have so much Mostert and so much.
Oh, I see. I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. I think that's a great landing spot for him. Miami.
Yeah. Oh no, I can. It's a perfect landing spot for him. I mean, what about Derrick Henry?
I didn't draft him hardly at all this season. So
Yeah, he's going. I mean, I've seen him as late as the 3rd round.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of the people taking like Jefferson, somebody, and then Henry for the first pick. It seems like if he has any kind of year that he's capable of, the Henry believers are going to get really paid off because of where
Mhm.
they got him. I mean, instead of taking him 8th in the draft, you're taking him in the 3rd round
Yeah.
these days.
I got 3 guys that I sort of like sneaky.
These-
I don't know if they're sneaky, but
are they all running backs?
they're all running back. So Mixon without P. Ryan. I mean, we liked him last year with P. Ryan. He's got no P. Ryan this year.
Now
Prolific offense.
there's some talk of some suspension possibly coming.
For Mixon?
yeah.
Oh wow.
I think it's maybe 1 or 2 games. Though.
Okay.
And then J.K. Dobbins look like he's back.
It does. Just that injury concern for me.
Yeah, he's so small.
Yeah.
He's so good when he plays. He's effective.
And then kind of a sneaky guy. I think Houston's going to be better. I like Damian Pierce.
They said that he's just come on strong and really taken that position over
Yeah.
in Houston.
I like Pierce a lot.
Okay, let me give you two names that have been kind of mid-ranking guys that I see a lot of talk about: Madison and Herbert.
I really like Madison. Every single year that Dalvin Cook had games where he missed, Madison produced.
It's amazing
just as-
where you can get Madison.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, and Herbert. It's amazing where you can get Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, those are some names that I'm high on in the running back. Let's move to quarterback. We didn't talk. Are you guys early quarterback guys in season longs? Or are you
Like mid-range.
So give me your example of the quarterback that you're target generally if you were doing a season long.
The one that I drafted the most was Tua.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
In what round are we talking? Well,
I-
and you're skewed.
No, I
league.
mean this is in best ball
You
too.
probably got him in the
My league is
20th.
not skewed; it's super competitive.
You got
It's
him
just-
Last pick of the draft.
You got him off the waiver wire?
No.
After the draft was
no,
done?
no. In fact, this league has never had a repeat winner. So I mean,
Oh, wow. It's really competitive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Tua, what about you,
Uh,
Juice? All right, so if you go early, let's say you're taking one in the first 5 rounds, who are you?
probably Hurts.
Hurts? Yeah, I
yeah.
think that's probably the safest one.
I think there's a clear sort of like number one top, or I should say top 3 quarterbacks in Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
And then there's kind of a drop off in tiers. I'll tell you a guy that I like and everybody seems down on, and I don't really know why people hate this guy so much, but they do, is Justin Fields. I mean,
Yeah.
I drafted him a lot.
like, to me, he's a better version of Anthony Richards today. And what I
Oh.
mean by that is, like, we know he can run. We know he can throw the ball. He was highly recruited out of high school, did nothing to sort of make his legacy any worse in college. I just don't understand the hate that people have for this guy.
I hate no hate over here. I've drafted 10 teams. I think he's my quarterback on 4 of the 10 teams.
Yeah.
I try to pair him with DJ Moore a lot. If not, Cole Kmet. Adding DJ Moore makes him
Big time.
gives him that, hey, I can throw the ball 2 yards and it ends up 40-yard type of scenario he hasn't had at all in
Right.
Chicago.
Yep.
I love Fields.
I did too. He was actually, I mean, he, as far as fantasy points, produced, I think, like top 5 numbers whenever he had like a fully healthy game.
Right.
Because he ran so much and basically did what Jalen Hurts does and ran in the end
And you can
end
get
zone
him
as well.
6 rounds later. You
Yeah.
get him in Hurts. Or
I also
4.
think there's a little parallels between him and Hurts. I mean, Hurts, like the first year, struggled a little bit in the passing game and then exploded. And I think Justin Fields could do maybe not the same, but if we get 75% of that, I mean, we got a really good deal here on Justin Fields. So I'm high on him.
5 weeks in a row last season, he scored over 20 fantasy points,
Yeah.
and 2 of those was over 40.
Yeah, he's I mean, complete ceiling guy, right? I mean, if we're talking floor and ceiling, Justin Fields gives you a ceiling that I don't even think, I mean, that Burrow probably gives you, or,
Yeah.
Somebody like that.
Honestly, you can get Burrow for a steal right now because everyone's concerned about his injury.
Right.
Yeah.
What about late round quarterbacks? You guys got a favorite, like backup or somebody that you stick on the roster just because you think maybe like a Sam Howell or something like that?
I like Richardson for the Colts.
Yeah, I think he's pretty commonly in the industry, pretty highly praised. I have a feeling Minshew gets a lot of the time in that scenario. I just can't see Richardson being ready to lead an NFL team consistently. But if he does, the people who believed in him are going to get paid off because he's another one that you can get very late and has a lot of upside.
And Jordan Love, do you watch him at all during the preseason?
He's had a great. I've got him on a bunch of teams as the backup. I'm a stacker, and even in season long, I like to stack. So a lot of times with your primary guy, like if you take Tyreek Hill or you don't get Tua, you can do like a stack with Jordan Love and maybe
Christian Watson or
Watson or Dobbs or the tight end Musgrave. A late, just to give you another option on bye weeks, or if they get hot, it's an option you can take. That. Anyway, I like stacking my second quarterback a lot of times with some players just to give you that other option if your first option doesn't seem to work out.
Yeah.
I think Justin Herbert is primed for a breakout. I mean,
Yeah.
Kellen Moore coming over as the offensive coordinator. They're going to get a lot more vertical. Herbert has a cannon.
I don't know if
arm.
you guys remember, but I think it was like game 3 or 4 last season. He took a shot to the ribs.
Yeah.
And I mean, trying to play all season with that is, someone who shattered 3 ribs playing rugby one year, I can't imagine trying to throw a football with any accuracy and without any pain for months after that injury. It's just breaking ribs. It's tough.
Yeah.
You can't breathe. You can't sit.
Yep.
Hopefully the ribs are healed, and I think if he stays healthy, I think it's time for him to make a charge to the bowl, maybe.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about Lamar Jackson.
Yep, that's one we haven't brought up.
I think he's going to be good.
That's a real common theme is I see people take 3 receivers or a receiver, a running back, 2 receivers, and they grab Andrews and then Jackson. And I think that's smart drafting. I like that.
I think Odell Beckham might shock people this season.
Zay Flowers is supposed to shock people.
Yeah.
I've read articles that say Zay Flowers just is never not open. He's
Yeah.
just open all the time. He's a small guy. I didn't realize how small he was.
Reports are that he's electric.
Yes, I keep hearing that.
They gave him some sort of nickname, like a video game or something like. So they're pretty high on him already. But yeah, I think Lamar Jackson. They got that coordinator from Georgia, right?
Yep.
Sneaky. I think the guy we used to play for Georgia, Bowers, the tight end.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I think Andrews could be legitimately like 1 or 2 this year.
Yeah, I mean, he
Because
finished the number 1 tight end last year.
without Lamar.
Yeah, and so, I mean, but people just believe in Kelsey a lot more. So you can get Andrews like 3 rounds later than Kelsey.
Where I'm going with this is that they really featured Bowers in that offense at Georgia. I mean, Mark Andrews is legit. If this coordinator likes to utilize a tight end, that can only be good for Mark Andrews as well. So I think I'm going to make a prediction. I think he outscores Kelsey this year.
You think he's going to outscore Kelsey?
Yeah.
He did last year, right?
No. Nobody got even. There
Not
was
even close.
there was
Are you
Travis Kelsey, and then
Yeah.
120 points under was the next guy.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to. I don't know where I heard. Maybe it was 2 years ago.
Kelsey had some monster games.
He did. So yeah, I mean, I can see Andrews doing well. I think Laporta is going to be. I had a hot take with a buddy where we bet $20 that I said Laporta is going to be a top 5 tight end at the end of this year
Top
as
5?
As far as fantasy points.
Wow.
They love him over in Detroit.
I do hear good things about him, but I mean, they do have other tight ends on the roster that have been there, right? Like
Right, but he's from everything I'm seeing, he's the guy that's going to get the targets.
top 5. I'd probably take action on $20 on that.
Yep.
What about
We'll
you?
see.
Juice?
I should have taken some odds on it because I'm
You
pretty
probably could
confident.
have gotten odds on
I
it.
probably could have.
Yes.
I did
It's not
it,
too
though.
late.
Okay. Well, what about so we kind of transitioned naturally over to the tight end position.
Well, I got one quarterback. I wanted to see what you
Okay.
guys think of. What do you think Pickett's going to do this season?
He's somebody that is. I mean, you can get him almost in the last round. So if he's somebody you want to put on your bench, I think there's nothing but upside, right?
Yeah, I mean, he can only do better than what everyone else is thinking he's going to do, right? Pickens, have you seen Pickens' Twitter feed?
I believe the Pickens hype last year and drafted him.
He's literally on Twitter like every other day saying that he is the best quarterback in the league.
You mean best receiver?
Best
Yeah.
receiver in the league. And sometimes I like those cocky players, so he convinced me to start drafting him, so I got some exposure to him.
If a player's own personal projections aren't a reason to draft him, I don't know what is.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, he says he's going to score. He's going to score.
Right.
Tyreek Hill has said he's going to have the best season ever.
Last year, he said, "I'm the number 1 wide receiver."
Well, he said
Draft me. And then he was.
that he's better and more ready than ever.
Well, he was right last year, so he's probably right.
Has he ever been wrong?
No, I don't think he's ever.
I don't think Tyreek has ever been.
As far as the last 2 years, I guess not.
Let's switch over and talk a little bit about in season long some of the rookies.
Okay.
Juice, name me a couple favorite rookies that you're eyeing up that might have seasons that are better than what are being.
I like Laporta. I like the tight end over in Buffalo.
There's 3 good tight ends,
This
right?
is the year of the tight end. This
rookie
is a
tight end.
historic class for tight ends.
Musgrave
Yeah.
is supposed to be kicking butt in Green Bay. They said he's clearly the tight end.
Yeah. I mean,
They said, I've heard about the one in Buffalo. What's his name? I always forget his name. Kincaid or
yeah, Dalton Kincaid.
They said tight end is just an abbreviation they put after his name.
Yeah.
That he is a stand-up slot receiver, and there's no chance that he'll ever have his hand in the dirt blocking. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's a lot of guys, I think, at the tight end position first year that, they could surprise.
there's 4 rookie. Well, now with the injury to Smith and Big Jigba, whose name I'm going to butcher the whole season.
Yeah.
There's really kind of 3 rookie wide receivers. How do you rank those guys for fantasy?
Which ones are you talking about? You think?
Addison, Zay Flowers, and Quentin Johnston, I think are the 3 top with Smith and Jigba hurt.
I think.
Is that his name, by the way? Is it
Yeah,
Smith
Smith and Jigba. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
Good. Wow. I got to find
Yeah.
this clap track.
No, you're good, man. I was like, you're not mispronouncing anything.
Wow. Let's give me a little. We do have another clap track, right?
I think that might
I think
be our
it's a
clap
laugh track. Okay. We're getting used to the sounds again. Episode 0. That's what we're here for.
That's what we're doing, is to get all the kinks ironed out.
So mentioning those 3 rookie receivers, which ones are you kind of leaning towards? I was a big Addison guy starting the season.
I do like Addison. It's a good passing offense. I mean, I think the fact that Justin Jefferson and Hawkinson are there, and then the fact that Thielen's gone, they're going to need a good third option. So I could.
Well, they got Kyle Osborne.
KJ Osborne.
KJ Osborne.
It's something I picked up about KJ. This is a little boots on the ground. Minnesota, when you drive by the stadium, there is a picture of KJ Osborne on the stadium.
Okay.
Anything, when they release promos, he's usually the one in a uniform.
Mm-hmm.
They obviously believe in him, right? They got rid of Thielen, and everybody's high on Addison. You can get KJ Osborne literally 10 rounds later.
Sometimes he doesn't even get drafted.
Oh, no, he's getting drafted. Yes, in that league that you're in, he might not have gotten drafted.
Not in that one. I'm saying I've been in
in
best
any
balls
league-
where he didn't
There's
get
only 2
drafted.
teams
In any league worth being in, KJ Osborne is being drafted, okay? Like, there's no chance. I've taken him in, like, the 9th in high-stakes leagues. But what do you – he's somebody – we can talk about – switch over to kind of some dark horse players first, but we're stick on rookie.
we haven't talked about Quentin Johnson. I mean, I
want to
think,
stick with rookie
I
receivers.
think,
He's the guy that could eat up some touchdowns, right?
I think he'll be good as the season progresses.
He's the guy that I can see using in the slot as kind of like a tight ends type slot guy.
Yeah.
And definitely in the red zone.
He's a baller, dude.
He scored a couple touchdowns in the preseason, right? I think he has 1 or 2 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the one that I haven't got as much of that I would like more of in drafting season-long teams.
Yeah.
Any of the rookies, since we are primarily a DFS show, do you see any rookies making your starting fantasy lineup?
Like in DraftKings?
Yeah.
The week 1, I don't know about week 1. I got to look at it more, but I do have a player that I think is going to eventually blow
I have
up this
Bijan
season.
in my starting lineup week 1.
Hey, I mean.
Yeah, I think that's
Just a good matchup. I mean,
Yeah.
Carolina does have a good defense, but if he's going to get all the touches at $8K, I mean, he's more expensive than Derrick Henry week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you got to pay for him.
I mean, I like the Musgrave kid out of Green Bay, week 1.
What's his price?
$2,900 at
Oh, wow.
Chicago.
Yeah.
With Jordan Love, I mean that's to me pretty good value.
I mean, if you're building a field stack, I think Musgrave running it back that cheap. I mean, that gives you a chance to plug in a lot of pricey players there.
Yeah, for sure. Just looking at the tight ends again, like on daily, a lot of them are kind of priced up. I mean, we don't have Kelsey week 1 because he's playing Thursday.
Yeah, I noticed there's a lot of 4K stuff, and that's something I've learned over the years that you got to just stay away from that 4K tight end stuff, right? You got to go dumpster dive it or pay up.
Yeah.
Paying 4K. I mean, because Everett is one at 4,400. I think I'm not positive that I tried to plug in the lineup, but he's just so expensive at 4,400 compared to some of the other ones that you just have to know he's going to score a touchdown almost to justify the expense, right?
Right.
a cheap wide receiver that isn't a rookie, but I think is a good option.
That was
in
going to.
week
So you
one.
want to transition over a little bit because I was going to transition over to. Let's do some dumpster diving or some value town.
Week 1, I like
Focusing kind of on. Are we going to go DFS? Let's do DFS and season long value town. Give me some picks on late rounds value in season long drafts and week 1 DFS.
Which position?
Any's open.
Let's just go quarterback first.
Okay.
Let's do it position by position.
Dumpster diving quarterback. I'll start. I love Derek. Is it? God dang it, Derek or David Carr? We're gonna need to get this straight.
Derek
Carr.
Derek
Yeah.
Carr. Okay. David Carr played in what, the mid '90s?
Yeah. He was the number 1 pick. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Carr's and big fan of Young. They both, for some reason, they're both Carr's 53, Young's 54 or 55, and they just allow you to do a lot of fun stuff with their stacks. Carr, you can stack with Ole, run it back with Henry. Young, you can stack with Thielen, run it back with Robinson. Anyway, those are my. You know me, I'm not paying up for week 1 quarterback. Not when they're giving me. I mean, there's 4,900 somebody, right?
Yep, I like Desmond Ritter
Yeah.
against Carolina. He's got 3 weapons around him. Kyle Pitts, he's got Bjorn Robinson, he's got Drake London, and his matchup's not terrible against Carolina. He's 4,900.
What about you, Juice? What are you looking at the dumpster dive?
I like Sam Howell, Washington at home against maybe the worst team in the league, Arizona.
I've heard that there's a lot of projections that Arizona's going to be who you want to pick on.
Yeah.
Both from a defense perspective and from a player perspective.
Now the game total is really low, so that's obviously concerning to me. But I mean, you compare him with like a Jahan Dotson,
I think that's someone we haven't mentioned yet.
Or even like an Antonio Gibson at running back who's dirt cheap, who catches a lot of balls. Maybe he catches one in the end zone from him. I don't know. I mean, the only problem is, like, do I want to run him back with anything? Like, probably not. Like I'm definitely not playing Arizona guys week 1.
Right.
No, that's tough.
Yeah. So I mean, that would be my main concern with him. But just kind of looking out. I mean, I think 2 is pretty cheap as well for 6,700 week 1.
Yeah, the highest scoring game projected.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of pieces. You
can double stack it.
Double stack. You can game stack that game.
Yeah. I do think that game could go off.
It could. What'll be interesting is to see what the rest of the public thinks about week 1, because we don't have ownership projections yet.
What about the Bake Show at 4,900 playing in a dome against a team that they should be behind against, right?
I love me some Baker, man.
Right.
So
that's a hard click week 1, but I think some people are going to do it, right?
I mean, has Baker ever had this level of receiver?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I mean, he's a polarizing guy, but I mean, I think if you're ever going to play Mayfield, this might be one of the weeks to do it.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to attack week 1. I mean, there's 4 quarterbacks right there: Howell, Baker, Mayfield, Ritter, and Jordan Love, that are just dirt cheap.
I was going to say that Jordan Love,
5K,
sort of a game stack, run it back with a couple Bears. That's not a bad way to go, man. You could get a lot of fun pieces.
It's just hard for me, even though, like we said, 8K Lamar Jackson's a nice start. Houston's defense isn't as terrible as people think.
No, and they got that Will Anderson kid from
Bama.
From Bama that's just blowing everything up.
Hurts has a tough matchup at 7,800 against New England. Fields has it at 7,700, is playing against Green Bay. Burrow at 7,100 is questionable against Cincinnati. Herbert at 6,900. It seems like the top guys have some tougher matchups. I like Trevor Lawrence at 65 if you want to get in the middle, but I think there's no reason, if you're building a lineup this week, to not be looking at 5,500 being the max you want to pay for quarterback.
I can't argue with
I think
it.
it's a great week. I think the week 1 is like one of the only weeks where you'll probably be able to get like a very nice stack and never be able to do it again.
Yeah.
We got to remember, there's not a lot of high point totals this week 1. So just find a game you think is a little under the radar and roll with it,
Let's talk about some dumpster diving value at the running back position.
Okay.
Hold on. Before he got hurt, I really liked Achane from Miami. He, in the game where he was healthy, he caught 4 balls and worth like the first 10 minutes of the game. But he's now banged up and questionable.
Yep.
So why don't you guys give me some down here that you guys like? What are we talking about? Under 5K, under 6K kind of thing?
It's hard going under 5K.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's such a mystery under 5K.
Herbert sitting there. If you want to do that Jordan Love stack with Herbert at 5,300, I mean, golly, that's dirt cheap for the starting running back for Chicago, who has had a great preseason and has always produced when given opportunities. You talked about Gibson, Juice.
Yeah.
Is that someone you're considering playing week 1?
I think so. I mean, I think, again, that low total scares me a little bit. Khalil Herbert at $5,300 at home against Green Bay looks a little bit nice.
We talked about the highest scoring game being the Miami Chargers game. Achane's banged up.
Yeah.
They haven't signed Jonathan Taylor yet. Mostert at 5,400. I mean,
I kind of like the 6,000 to 5,700 range, like Kenneth Walker III, Pierce, Javonte Williams. I like all 3 of those guys.
so I paid up at running back in my first build.
That's probably smart.
I went
honestly.
Bijan and Derrick Henry. But man, looking at some of these, we talked about Akers a little bit at 6,200. Najee Harris at 6,100. Now that's a tough matchup. Pierce at 5,800.
I like Pierce. I even like Jeff Wilson if it's going to be a high-scoring game. He's usually the guy if there's a running back's going to catch a ball, especially
I
with
think if a chain had been healthy, he would have been cut. Jeff Wilson.
Maybe.
We'll see today if he gets cut. But I think if he gets cut, we know they're going to be signing Jonathan
Taylor. Yeah.
But I do. Wilson is somebody that always produces. I just think that might be a roster spot that they need to use elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta like Bijan though. 8,000
I've got him in the lineup. I clicked the number. I've been so down on him in season-long drafts, but in DFS I played him, and it's because I like the Thielen, Bijan Robinson run back. Once we flipping over to wide receiver, Thielen is by far my favorite dirt wide receiver.
You're all over Thielen this year, huh?
Yeah, I just think they paid him a money to come there. He's a good route runner. They've got a decent quarterback who's accurate, who doesn't throw a lot of long ball. I just think that Thielen's going to get 10 to 12 targets a game, right? I mean, and you get him for right now, you're getting him for $4,600.
He's very cheap, for sure.
Yeah. I think he pays off his price pretty easily. What about you? I'll shut up about Thielen. You guys tell me what you guys like at receiver.
I mean, if we're going dumpster diving,
that's what we're doing right now.
I mean, why not roll the dice on Zay Flowers at 4K?
I mean, that's a pretty cheap guy who's definitely supposed to be a part of the offense, right?
Yeah, I mean, against Houston, gets behind the offense, or defense, and just let him roll.
You also have KJ Osborne at 43.
I like
and
him.
A guy that's kind of a hot take, but from everything that I'm seeing, he's the number 2 option, and he's going to basically be in the same spot that Paris Campbell was last year, and his name is Alec Pierce for $3,800
for Indianapolis.
I'm
just worried about until I see the quarterback and what they're going to do. They're playing any receivers from the Colts.
Usually, whenever you're a rookie wide receiver, you're nervous, and so all you do is dump it down to the slot guy, and that's who he is.
One name I haven't heard Jared mention, which I'm surprised, is Nico Collins.
Boy.
We've gone almost a whole show without hearing Nico Collins' name.
You've convinced Toby on him.
I like Nico Collins, and so does finally the fantasy sports analysts.
They're definitely catching up with you for sure.
Yep. Brandon Cooks is gone. He is officially the number 1 target in that team. And draft him again in almost everything. So we'll see what happens.
Wow, Sam Howell Dotson is a cheap stack week 1.
It is very cheap.
Pickens at 5K, somebody we talked about a little bit.
Yep, I like that.
Seems to like he could pay off his price pretty easily.
You want a Stone Min dart throw?
Yeah.
Marvin Mims Jr. for Denver.
3K?
3K.
Wow.
Yeah.
With Judy hurt, that looks, wow. I think he'll be highly owned.
Probably.
He could be. I mean,
gosh. So it's basically, because they lost, what's the other one? They lost another wide receiver this offseason.
Patrick's on the IR.
Yeah.
He's definitely their number 3, I think, at least. So I don't know.
So if we're paying up at receiver week 1, we've got Minnesota Jefferson going up against Tampa Bay at a pretty gaudy price for week 1, $8,800 for a week 1 receiver.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense. You averaged 22 points a game last year. Then we have Kupp at 84, Hill at 82, Chase at 81, Adams at 79, AJ at 76. And then Keenan Allen, Devontae Smith, Waddle, Metcalf are the $7,000 and above guys.
My favorite is Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I think it's a good matchup. Now, again, 8,200 is a lot when you can get like Olave. Thank you.
Yeah.
At 65, it's hard. That's my only thing with the receiver position is my original build put Jefferson in it, and then I've kind of gone away from it. So I've gone kind of middle range on the receivers.
I'm trying to remember, there were surprises last year in week 1, right? I mean, Jefferson did great in the beginning and then just kind of faded.
He did. He started off amazing and then faded.
Hot and then just didn't do much the rest of the game.
All the Buffalo guys did really good week 1. Diggs and Davis were big time week 1. I'm trying to think who else was Hill. Didn't Hill have a big week 1 last year?
Yeah, he did. I think Waddle had a big week 1 too.
Yes, I do. I know they had the big week 3 when they blew up against Baltimore.
I think they had a big start is what happened until Tua got injured. I think they're all doing pretty well.
So this is where I could really use some help. We talked about the dumpster diving at the tight end position. The kid out of Denver looks pretty good. Denver's getting a lot of love on this show.
Dulcich?
No, I'm talking about the other one. Don't make me say his name. We started him. Okwa.
Alberto.
Yeah, Big O.
He just got released today.
Oh, okay, so he looks good for someone else.
Today's good day.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this may happen a lot where I say stupid things. Okay, give me some dumpsters dive. We talked about Musgrave, right?
Yeah.
He's somebody that as a cheap starter. What else at the tight end position? I've had a lot of trouble deciding who I want to click at the tight end position this week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat because this is the hardest position to figure out, especially in week one.
What is Woods' injury for Indianapolis? He's listed as questionable. Do we know what he's dealing with?
I don't.
Let me see.
You talking about Jelani Woods?
Yeah.
He's dealing with a hamstring injury.
Ugh. I've heard good things about Otten.
Yep.
I've heard things about Hunter Henry, Irv Smith Jr. Just not a lot of ceiling there, right?
Not a lot. I like Evan Ingram. He had some big weeks last year.
But then we're starting to get into that how much is Ingram's 47?
47.
And that's supposed to be a DFS no-no.
I'd be curious to see what Darren Waller's salary is going to be in the Sunday-Monday lineup.
Kyle Pitts is cheaper than Evan Ingram than in week one. He's only 45.
Yeah. Pitts has looked good in the preseason. Yeah, it's tough. Andrews is obviously the big, with Kelsey not on the slate. Andrews at 6,200, Hawkinson at 5,900, and Kittle at 5,700 are the big guys. And then there's a little drop off to Goddard and Higbee and Ingram. It's a weird tight end position.
I will probably go dumpster diving.
I'm definitely going dumpster diving.
I probably
which one
will not do that.
So who are you going with? Are you going all the way up?
Yeah, I'll go up on tight end week one.
I like it. So which one?
I'd probably go Goddard.
Okay.
Goddard or maybe Mark Andrews against Houston. I don't know. I mean, like I'm gonna keep that position completely open because I'm not comfortable enough in a dumpster dive in the tight end position when I am very comfortable with the dumpster dive on the wide receiver spot. Like you said, Flowers.
There's so much to use low level receiver. There really is. But we've also talked about there's a lot of mid level, low level running back, and there's definitely a lot of low mid level quarterback.
Right. There's less mystery in all those spots than there is in the tight end spot. So I don't want to dumpster dive in the tight end.
One of our favorite subjects that we've been notoriously known for is picking dirt defenses and getting double digit points out of them. That is an art form to the DFS world. That if you can do that. That puts you at such an advantage to know which cheap defense to play. Mm-hmm. Do we have any week one cheap defenses or any week season-long defenses that you should plan on trying to grab week one to stream or even keep on your roster if you feel like they're going to be good all week? Our buddy Toby is huge on the Eagles' defense. It's rare that I've ever heard Toby pub a defense before, but he feels like the defensive line for the Eagles is going to be
otherworldly.
Yes.
Didn't they lose?
They got that rookie defensive
from Georgia, and they had
who fell in the draft.
Yeah, and they've had monsters. I mean, their defense is.
Didn't they lose some key players in their defense this year?
Not that I'm aware of.
I'll tell you the defense I like the most this week. I'm gonna roll with probably in 100% of my lineups is the Commanders against Arizona.
That's very, very industry. That's the dark horse, I think, for week one. That's people say if you want to stream season long to stream Washington, you can get them late and then cut them if you need them, or keep them if they turn out to be a dominant defense like some people think they're going to be.
I mean, Chase Young, I think, is healthy again.
2,500 is a good number for a defense, right?
And I mean, Arizona's going to be bad, real bad.
2,800.
Yeah.
You know who I've started in every week one lineup so far is the Buccaneers
against Minnesota.
Yeah, I just think that they have. Minnesota's going to drop it back a lot. And they've got Shaq Barrett and some guys that can get sacks and some interceptions. And at 2,200, you don't need a lot from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Jared? You got one that you're eyeing up?
Right now, the one that I like the most is the Steelers.
Okay. I like who they play week one.
San Francisco.
Ooh. We have a button for that.
Oof.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Walk us through that thought process.
Yeah.
What is it? It's Purdy, right? That's who it's going to be, or is he still injured?
No, he's playing week one.
All right, I think he's going to come out a little rusty.
Okay.
And then the Steelers, they had some upgrade. I can't remember their names, but I was reading about them yesterday.
Their best corner is injured.
Okay, well, we'll see. They're 3,000. I don't feel like they're projected relatively high for week one. So.
Is there any reason to pay up at defense week one?
I don't think so.
Why is Minnesota? I guess they think Baker Mayfield's going to suck, huh?
Yeah.
It's understandable.
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
So, that's not a hot take.
I may look at that differently. Ravens is at 4K. They're playing against Houston. I don't think Houston's offense is as bad as everybody thinks.
We'll see. We'll
It's
see.
just it's all dependent on Stroud, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember this is his first start in the NFL on the road against historically a good defense. We'll see. I mean, we'll see.
I like it. Okay. How about we change our focus? Let's move it over. And this is something we're going to do each week for you all is who do you have to have? We'll start off because we're kind of doing a little combo show here. What player do you want on your season-long team most? And what player do you have to have in your week 1 DFS lineup?
Tyreek Hill.
In both?
Both.
Okay. That's fair.
Highest projected game. He said he was going to be the best wide receiver in the
Ever.
league.
I like it.
Well, I mean,
The cheetah.
to be fair, Pickens said the same thing.
Right, so
Right.
you have to
So
choose between
One
the
of them's
two.
going to be wrong. Maybe
Yeah.
they'll be 1 and 2. Then would they
could
be
be.
kind of considered right?
I think they. I mean, I would
You
consider
know,
them
by
both right.
by you
Okay.
picking the same player isn't great content, right?
What'd you say?
I said by you picking the same player, that's not great content.
Well, it is because that's what you should do.
Okay.
Whenever week 1 comes
Jared
and that
just says
answer
just
was
pick
right.
Tyreek Hill, week 1,
Then it is.
season-long team. Hope you have the 2nd or 3rd pick in the draft, maybe 4th if you're lucky, and take Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
What about you, Juice? Who you line up for season-long teams if you could pick anybody? Who's
I mean, just in general, anyone. I have
Yeah.
a guy.
who's just your favorite player in season-long team? Who's the
I
guy
mean,
you
I-
want
I-
on the roster?
I really like. I really like Jalen Hurts this year, my quarterback. I like Tyreek Hill a lot as well. Running back, I'm just really high on Bijan Robinson.
Okay. I like it. High variance, but I like it.
Yeah.
I'm a Garrett Wilson guy. I think Garrett Wilson's going to have an over 100 receptions and 1,000 yards.
Why don't we talk about the Jets? What do we think? What do we think our projections are on that team as a whole?
You know, I think when you're drafting DFS and season long, you're obviously trying to project offenses that are going to score lots of points, and I just don't see a world where the Jets aren't scoring points. Do you?
I think that the overall consensus on the Jets is they're going to be bad, and I think they're wrong. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to come back this year pissed
Wait a
off.
minute. Who's saying they're going to?
Man,
be
what
bad?
shows are
Yeah.
you watching?
But how high is Aaron Rodgers being drafted in the leagues?
Are you watching the Chicago Bears fans?
How high has Aaron Rodgers been drafted in the leagues you've been in?
14th, 13th.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay,
I agree,
so
but
that
Garrett Wilson's going
goes
ninth.
along with the consensus. I know somebody's gonna get the points, and he proved it last year. He could do it with Luke Wilson. So I mean,
I like the Rodgers Garrett Wilson matchup. I just don't hear people saying that the Jets are going to suck this year. I haven't heard that one.
okay, I should have rephrased it. They think Aaron Rodgers is gonna suck.
They just don't project him to be as high as scoring. It's hard to distinguish him from other quarterbacks, right?
Yeah, I think he's gonna do better than everyone is saying he's gonna do. I think he should be. I think he should have been drafted higher.
So Juice gave us you like Bijan Robinson, Tyreek Hill, and what was the other one?
Jalen Hurts.
And who do you think week 1 DFS somebody you think is just a for sure in your lineup?
Man, this one's going to come out of left field, but I love Kenny Walker III,
Yeah.
week 1.
There's no world in which I start week 1 without Adam Thielen in my lineup.
Okay, there you go.
There's just not. I mean, there's just not. There's
Yeah.
not a lineup I'm going to build where he's not in my lineup.
I like Seattle at home against the Rams. I think the Rams' defense is going to be a lot worse than it's been. I think they're going to be playing from ahead. I just like Kenneth Walker. I could see him scoring 1 or 2 touchdowns.
I'm
Getting 100
surprised in the season-long drafts that he is being as less valued as he is.
I think the
I thought they were-
Charbonnet draft pick
Kind of scared people.
kind of scares people away.
But they
a
had
little bit.
when he was doing well last year, they had 3 people that were good. You know, they
Yeah,
had,
yeah.
Yeah, I just think he's somebody in drafts that if you're drafting heavy receiver early and you could get Walker as your number 1 running back, you're doing something right, right?
Well, I'm talking about DFS week 1.
I got it, but I
That's what
also
I like.
think in season
Yeah,
long that
yeah,
if you're
yeah.
so Walker is going to be in Juice's lineup week 1, Adam Thielen's going to be in my lineup week 1 for sure, and Tyreek Hill is going to be in Jared's
Yep.
right?
Not only on my DraftKings, but on my team. Every
Okay.
chance I get.
Another interesting question. Give me your top 5 best offenses in general NFL this year.
Wow. Okay.
Top 5 overall. Okay, I'm gonna say.
He just jumps right in, doesn't he? He doesn't even, I mean, it's like he had that in his pocket. He's like, okay. Here,
Well, it's the
let me,
Chiefs,
Chiefs 1,
the Eagles.
2,
I think Miami's gonna be up there.
3.
I think Chicago might shock some people this year.
Be a shock if they're in top 5.
Yeah, that's bold.
And
I'm here for it.
then
You were doing good.
the Chargers.
Okay. So
You left one team off. I'm shocked.
Denver? Is that what you're...
No.
Well, okay, what team was it? Maybe I just forgot about them.
Detroit.
Oh, yeah, I think Detroit's going to be good, too. Actually, I'll take Chicago out and put Detroit
I
in.
think that's a much wiser.
Yeah, yeah.
pick.
'Cause you love Amon Ra.
I love a ton of players
And
on
I
that
think
team.
Jameer Gibbs adds
Yeah.
another element. That
Jared,
And
if I give you-
Laporta?
if I give you credit for anything, I give you credit for being on the St. Brown train way early.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I like Kansas City, Buffalo. I think the Jets, Baltimore, and Dallas. And it's hard not to put Cincinnati and the Eagles in there, but those are who I'm going to go with.
Oh man, I mean,
It's tough. There's a lot of
It is tough.
potential for good offenses this year, which was fun for us.
I just really like Fields. That's why I put Chicago in there first.
Yeah. I think he has a top chance to be a top 5 fantasy quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Detroit was a better option, though.
What about you? Kansas City
Kansas
for sure?
City, obviously Philadelphia.
I noticed you didn't mention Buffalo, though, at all.
I think all those other teams are better.
Okay.
I think Buffalo's going to take a little bit of a step back.
Yeah, Diggs wanted out.
They got a
this
lot
season.
tougher. Well, he still wants out. from
Yeah.
what I understand.
Here's my thing. So I think the AFC East, you got the Jets, Buffalo, New England, Miami. These are all banger defenses.
Mhm.
Like maybe top 10 in the league defenses. I think it's going to be a bloodbath in that division.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only thing that gives me a little bit of pause with Miami is just how hard that division is defensively from top to bottom. But I like Miami quite a bit. Everyone's saying Jacksonville's going to take a step forward. It's hard to argue. I mean, if Trevor Lawrence takes that next step, they're going to be really, really good. You know, I mean, they added Calvin Ridley, who
Yeah.
could be the biggest addition at the wide receiver slot this year. And, you know, they've got Etienne and Tank Bigsby. I mean, I don't know. And Evan Ingram, I think they're just a very complete offense.
They
So,
do. They have a ton of weapons, more than they've had in a long time.
yeah, Minnesota, obviously with Jefferson and Cousins and that whole cast is going to be good. You know, sneaky, I think the Niners are going to be good too. I mean, I know it doesn't sound like you're as high on Brock Purdy as I am, but he's just been pretty solid since he's been in the league. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I would say those are like my top 4 or 5.
I think he's going to start off rusty, just my feeling.
Could be.
Yeah. I like it. Okay.
It is week 1.
Yep.
I mean, I
What
think
else?
everyone else is going to be a little rusty too.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Let's kind of just open up the mics to discuss anything fantasy related, both season long or DFS that is interesting you all.
Let's see here. I had a question earlier, but then I got sidetracked by the Jets thing. So do you think the Raiders are going to be mid-tier? Do you think Devontae Adams is going to be the Devontae Adams that we're used to?
That's a good question. I think he's a big question mark.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't think I have any exposure to him.
There's
this
no
season.
reason not to believe that Devontae Adams isn't going to have a great season, other than we don't know much about Jimmy Garoppolo and how he's going to be.
Early in the preseason, he was trying to get out and go join Aaron Rodgers on the Jets.
Who was?
Devontae Adams
Oh,
was.
yeah. Well, I mean, they got a history together.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
You got any other ones?
Nope. I don't have any in my head right now.
What about you, Juice? Got any topics you want to talk about before we call it good and get out of here
I'm
for
going to
week
give you
0?
a hot take, and I had a hot take last year, and I couldn't have been more wrong. But this is my last year. I said that Dalvin Cook would lead the league in rushing. No, that didn't happen. I think that the Jets will implode this year. I think the Aaron Rodgers show is going to be a complete fiasco.
Okay, so you think the opposite of what I think.
He is a nut job. He's posturing for the Hard Knocks cameras right now, I think. at times he looked beyond bad last year. He looked old
Yeah,
in some games.
he did.
There was a game against Detroit where he was awful. He looked bad. I'm not that big of a believer in Aaron Rodgers. Here's my last thing. The guy, for as great as he's been throughout his career, he's won one Super Bowl.
Yep.
One Super Bowl.
Right.
So I don't know. The mystique of Aaron Rodgers, I think, is just that mystique. I'm going to call it and say that he flops this year. The Chargers are going to take a big step forward. That's my other hot take.
I like it.
What's your hot take? And then I'll do one, and then we can call it.
Hot take of the season?
It's hot take of the season. You've already heard mine, but I'm going to say it again.
I'll go with Detroit. No.
Go with it. I want to have a Detroit like.
I was going to say I'll go with Detroit being the top scoring team in the league.
Okay.
All
I
right.
like it.
Yeah, I can totally see
We
that.
really didn't talk about Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
I mean, what do we think about him?
I guess I have two hot takes. I've said this several times to people that I've been talking to football with, is that I think Jahmyr Gibbs has a very high likely chance to outscore Bjorn Robinson in fantasy points. Just because I think he's the pass catcher, and he's probably going to get a lot of passes thrown to him,
For sure.
as well as opportunities to run.
Okay.
So I think he could outscore Robinson in fantasy points.
I like it. I like it, man.
Say it one more time. I'm sorry, I got caught track by a message.
I think Jahmyr Gibbs will outscore Bjorn Robinson in fantasy points this season.
Okay. That's a good take. I like it.
So you're going for Jahmyr Gibbs as the offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
I like it. I mean,
In fact, I should
you should
put that
some
bet
money-
down.
you
Yeah, I should put that bet down.
That should be a bet.
Okay. I see we've run about 5 minutes over an hour.
Yeah.
I think we covered a lot here on week 0. Do we want to get any last projections on tape so that we have them to come back to if we turn out to be superstar smart?
I think I've placed everything I need to place to get that superstar smart start of the season.
I'm going to go Adam Thielen over 10 touchdowns. That's one other projection.
Over the season. 10
Adam
touchdowns for
Thielen,
Thielen.
love is strong.
It's big.
It is
dude.
strong.
Coming from Matt.
Okay, Juice, give us one more super hot one.
Oh man.
Let's blow it up. Juice is blowing up. Hold on. Wait.
Pittsburgh will make the playoffs.
Okay.
All right. I like that.
I mean, it fits with some of the stuff Jared said.
Yep.
I think Kenny Pickett's a fairly productive year this year. I saw some things I liked last year.
I did too. I agree with that. I hope that happens. But I think is that it? Any
Yeah.
other takes?
Oh, you know what? Please subscribe
Yes.
to the channel and the show.
There should be some. We hope you watch the whole show, but that we have some technology now. We'll have shorts after the
Yep.
show.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing some videos throughout the week to try to give you some content. And yeah, guys, just kind of help us get some of these subscriptions in, and so that we can convince people that this is a show we could do for a long time here. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for being on the chat, and
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you. What is it? Not this coming Friday, but the Friday after
we're not
that.
going to try to do a Friday show.
Well, the
Aren't you
start
out
of
town
the.
next week?
I am. I thought we were going to try maybe Zoom it.
I thought we were going to Zoom it the week that the NFL starts.
That's
We'll figure that out.
we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, next week is an off week. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So
We will see you guys soon, one way or the other, right?
Yep.
Here we go.
boom.